Welcome to Subramani. Uh, High income earners don't save much. Sounds very, quite counterintuitive, right? So, but I find, and I work with many people in their 40s and 50s and maybe into their 60s also. They think they have a very high income, which they do. They spend quite a bit, and they think they're making a lot of money on the ESOPs that they're holding, or it's their own business, so they don't think they need any, they need to save, right? So the habit of saving, which they may have had in their initial stages, because most entrepreneurs are big savers because they are always worried about that uncertainty. But some entrepreneurs, maybe people who have borrowed money, or people who have raised money from others, etc., are not so cost conscious in their living, and not so value conscious. So, and the problem is they need to save. Largely, the need to save is to buy something at a later date. It's not. I'm not saving for the virtue of saving. I'm saving because I want to buy something at a future date. But what happens if my income is high enough that it allows me to buy whatever I want? Let's take, say, 50 years back or 60 years back, when a person had to buy a fridge, maybe at the age of 35 or 40, he would save, and then go and buy a fridge. Right, today fridge is available on installment, so you could buy it on installment. But let's say you're a high income earner, so which means you don't really have to save to buy a fridge. Your current income, monthly income, is sufficient to buy a fridge or a washing machine. So these lower end white goods are taken care of. Even the car that you wanted to buy, you know that you can make a down payment of 5 lakhs, borrow 25 lakhs, so you bought a car. You have also bought a house and you're comfortably paying the EMI. Now what happens is, you have reached the stage in life that someday you may have to save, but right now you don't see any need for saving. The virtues of saving are lost on you. You don't need to do it. You've seen your parents do it, maybe your grandparents do it, but you don't think that that it is important for you to do. And the retirement sounds very far away, right? You're 42, so your retirement is going to happen at 65, so you've got another 25 years or 23 years to go. So that they then say, oh, it's quite far away, I don't need to save. So my argument is, you need to save, because only what you save gets invested, right? So either you save and invest, or out of your current income you should invest. And what are the reasons why you should invest? One, compounding is excellent when you give it time, right? So when you double your money in 6 years, or you double your money in 7 years, you give it more time. Your time is working for you. It's not just your money working for you. Of course, it's your money working, but given a longer period of time, there will be a greater impact. Obviously, your money doubles from the 45th year to the 50th year. So you say in 5 years, let's say your 1 crore has become 2 crores, right? That's huge, right? So the longer the time that you give it, the better it is. Compounding, let's take the case of Warren Buffett. I think some 99% of his portfolio, or 99% of his net worth, would have been created after his age of 65, and that happened simply because he lived long enough. Now you take the same case of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He didn't live long enough for compounding to work. Of course, the compounding rate would have come down, but can you even imagine how much money 93-year-old Rakesh Jhunjhunwala would have had? The choice was not there. The 63-year-old did not give money enough time to compound. Of course, he's made fantastic amount of money, but maybe you could have substituted some of that time to look after his health. So compounding works well, whether it is health or with wealth, but you need to give it time. So the reason why a high earner should save money even at an earlier stage and a later stage is to give money time to grow. If you don't give it time, it just does not grow. Secondly, everything has to have a margin of error. You could be making a mistake. So let us take the case of a weaver master or a dyer, DYER, in a textile mill in Mumbai in the 1970s. It was a highly skilled job. Maybe they were getting 3,000, 4,000 rupees, a princely salary. Their children were going to good English medium schools. Suddenly there was a strike. There was no textile jobs in Mumbai. I do not know how many of them thought this is temporary. The strike would be called off in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 7 months, 2 years. It just never happened. The mills never restarted, which meant your chances of earning money went for a toss. Many of those children got into depression. Many of those people got into depression. They took to drinking. They took to dacoity in the sense gundagardi or whatever. So they became goons. They got into drugs. They got into smuggling. They got into all kinds of wrong things, right? So all these things happened, which is unbelievable. You never thought that your money making skill of weaving or dyeing, who would ever think that textile would go out of business or hotels would go out of business? You don't know what can happen. So let us take even this case of SGB, sovereign gold bonds. The government did not anticipate that gold prices would go up so much, but funnily nobody is thanking the government for the PSU shares going up so much. So the offset of the gold mistake versus what has happened in the PSU shares, nobody is shocking like that, right? So if you are the government of India, yes, you went wrong with SGB, but you did phenomenally well with PSU stock valuation. So somewhere you make money, somewhere you lose money. So if you are in the losing money place, then you have to be careful. All systems have to have margin of error, because you could be making some such mistakes, right? So it's not about being very flashy or things like that. Using conservative assumptions about projecting how much you think you will make in the future. Please be conservative. Suddenly at the age of 48, if you get a heart attack, next 12 years is lost. And if you thought you're going to make 2 crores a year for 12 years, it is 24 crores, which you're going to use for your retirement. Sorry, but suddenly your retirement is already been preponed, and then you may not earn so well, you may not be able to save so much, you may not be able to cut down your expenses so quickly, right? So because of the sudden change in your income. So all those things are important, right? Please overestimate future expenses, because it's always nice to be conservative, right? Go back to the original chartered accountancy, right? It's better to be conservative. As a chartered accountant, you are conservative, right? So go back to the basic principles of accounting. You better be conservative, and always assume that you will run into some bad block, right? 1992, 1993, 94 to I think 94 to 2002 was a terrible phase in your equity. So if you were an equity dealer or a fund manager and there was no funds coming to you, you may have to look at for a change of career plan, right? Depends on what age of your life that hits you. If it hits you when you're 23, it's still okay. By 30 you can recover. After 30 you can recover. But if it hits you at 47, then the best 13-14 years of yours is lost in the recession. You're not going to make money. Also remember that life is non-linear. When we run projections, it's straight like this, it is like this, it is things like that. But in life, life is more like this. So at a down, when you need money and you have a problem, you're going to pull money out of your portfolio and suddenly get scared, is this going to be enough for your retirement? So when we have to make an assumption that growth will be 3%, 4%, 8%, something like that, but no financial projection can ever account for all the wrong turns that our life will take, right? The things which could go wrong: losing a spouse, a divorce, something happening to the child, having a child who is challenged and therefore spending a lot of money. You never know what can go wrong. So you have to be prepared for all that. So the more and more of these provisions, and you worry that you say, oh my God, I'm earning well. Yes, I'm earning very well. Maybe I'm earning 15 lakhs a month or 20 lakhs a month, which is a fantastic salary. But what if this stops? Because high salaries have a higher probability of stopping than low salaries, right? So be careful about all that, and I think that we have enough reasons for us to save more, even though you're a high earner, right? Thank you.